All right, you know they're not going to leave unless you do some You Might Be a Redneck.
If you have a complete set of salad bowls and they all say Cool Whip on the side, you might be a redneck. If you take your dog for a walk and you both use the tree at the corner, you might be a redneck. If your wife says she's game and you shoot her, you might be a redneck. If your panty lines can be seen from aerial photographs, you might be a redneck. If you've ever been accused of lying through your tooth, you might be a redneck. If your dog passes gas and you claim it, you might be a redneck. If you've ever used your ironing board as a buffet table. My mother-in-law in New Orleans, by the way.
Hey, speaking of families, and you know mine, a whole lot of reading going on in that house.
Maybe no trespassing signs, but that's about it.
Well, they love to hunt.
Did your mama get the new linoleum, by the way?
That was tears of joy that day. Wouldn't let us walk on it with shoes. We thought we was Chinese.
You take shoes off. You take shoes off.
You take shoes off. Don't walk on linoleum. But I actually witnessed this with my family at a funeral. If you've ever taken a 6-pack of beer to a funeral, you might be a redneck.
Mama looks good, don't she?
That ain't Mama. Yeah, it is. They just shaved off her beard. Where Bill's family's from, they got that show Wheel of Fortune. It's a little different, though. The puzzle's already solved. They just got to spin the wheel and try to pronounce a phrase that's hanging up there on that bit.
What? Whatever that show we used to do. We are the short bus of comedy. I will tell you that right now.
If your wife has ever said, "Come move this transmission so I can take a bath," you might be a redneck. If your neighbors think you're a detective because a cop always brings you home, you might be a redneck.
Oh, my God.
If you think a quarter horse is that ride in front of Kmart, you might be a redneck. If you missed 5th grade graduation because you had jury duty, you might be a redneck. If you think fast food is hitting a deer at 65 miles an hour, you might be a redneck. If you've ever sat on the toilet until your legs fell asleep. You've done that one, didn't you? We went on vacation together last winter. Remember that night you came out of the bathroom, he was like...
I was reading the Bridges of Madison County.
If your daughter's Barbie dream house has a clothesline in the front yard, you You might be a redneck. If an episode of Walker, Texas Ranger changed your life, you might be a redneck. If somebody tells you you have something in your teeth and you take them out to see what it is, you might be a redneck. If you wear a dress that is strapless with a bra that isn't, you might be a redneck. If you've ever stared at a can of orange juice because it said concentrate, you might be a redneck. God bless y'all. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Houston. Good night. Good night, everybody.